What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We are still on the quest to find out if we can get decent quality gear from Temu and we can fill out a kit. This is going to be part 3 of this series. Now, I've been on the quest. I've been working with Temu in a sense, and I've been just getting gear that is preparedness or survival oriented. And then that way I can show you guys what the stuff looks like, before, if you were to order something, you can get an idea. Now, keep in mind, this is just me showing you what I got and what it looks like from Temu. This isn't me telling you to go out and get the stuff because I have not had a chance to actually test or use any of the stuff I'm about to show you. But when we do the follow-up video, I am going to combine all 3 orders that I've placed with them, and then we are going to talk about how this is doing, how that is doing, type of a deal. So this is not me telling you to rush out and get this stuff. I am just giving you a first impressions of the items that I've ordered, and then in a different video, we can talk about some review type aspects of this gear. So, first and foremost, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Secondly, we have a fixed blade here coming in 9CR 18 MOV. This is just a little fixed blade neck knife type of a deal. I always try to order at least one fixed blade from there, just because I'm a knife guy and that is, that's my deal. But this one looked pretty appetizing for the price tag, and it was coming in 9CR, or at least that's what it says it's coming in. And if it's coming in 9CR 18 MOV, that's a decent steal, especially at the price tag. And then they include this Kydex-like sheath, and you get like a little chain lanyard ordeal here. Pretty good retention on this guy. I will have all the links for everything I'm about to show you down in the description. That way, if you do see something and you don't want to wait for me to review the item in a separate video, you think something looks good, you're just going to try it anyway, then I will leave the links down below. If you do use those links, it does help this channel out, but that is entirely up to you, of course. So back into this guy, it's saying 9CR 18 MOV is the steal. Decent blade stock. This is not going to be a bushcraft style knife. This is going to be more of an EDC type of fixed blade. We have G10 for the handles, and it does have some texture to it. And then we have a little lanyard hole back here. And the retention is pretty good on this guy. There's no wiggle. And it's not just, popping out of there. You do got to give it a little push. So that's a decent setup right there. And all this stuff, guys, all of it is going to come in under 20 bucks. I think almost all of it is going to come in under $15. This is the closest thing I have handy, and I do kind of want to see. So I've gotten at this point several fixed blades from Temu, and some of them have come with a decent edge, and some of them haven't come with the greatest edge. I would have to say this is probably tied for the best edge right out of the package. I will link the other 2 videos up in a card so you can check those out. But coming with a decent little package here, if you're just getting into things, or you're trying to maybe get backups to your primary stuff and you're not interested in spending a ton of money, this might be a decent option. So let's take a look at this next piece of gear here. And this is something I'm really going to test out because I don't have anything quite like this. So all this is a small little fold top stove. And these are only like a couple of dollars, guys. They have quite a few different ones. But this one came in at like $3-4 maybe, something like that. And, you know, it's just a solid piece of metal. And it's got some pretty good retention as far as, you know, it's got some like tactile clicks there. And it's not just going to close up. You actually got to put a little bit of effort into opening and closing this, which is good. It's not just going to close up on you. So that is the little stove there. And I'm definitely interested in seeing how this works out. We'll do a separate video on this guy and how it works. We're going to do all the stuff that I think has potential is going to get a second and or third video. You know, reviewing it, testing it, that sort of thing. We also have a testing video coming on the off-grid knives tracker version 2. Oh yeah, so let's bring out 2 items here. There is the other one. I didn't even get into these yet. So I'm just, for everybody else's sake, I am trying this stuff out. That way you guys have an idea, you know, what the scoop is. So I ordered just a little hank of paracord. I think this was like $1. I forget how many feet it is. But I just wanted to, you know, get an idea of what they have. And then I don't have any of this either. This is 80 pound. There it is. 0.5 millimeter, 80 pound test right here. And you get a lot in this little package and easy to kind of keep with you. So I'm very interested to see how this stuff holds up. And they give a little QC pass type of deal there. And, you know, this stuff can be doubled up. And then you're talking, you know, you have 160 pounds there when doubled up. So this would come in handy for a multitude of different things. This is probably, I'm going to try some of it out. And if it seems to work out pretty good, I'll probably end up putting this in my pack. Just because you're getting 100 yards, over 100 yards of this stuff, and it's got quite the versatility involved. And yet again, this was a couple of dollars. So, I mean, you're not breaking the bank with some of this stuff if you just want to try something out. Or say, I don't know, say, let's bring out the next item. The paracord seems decent. You know, it isn't Survivor cord or, you know, it's not going to be that type of cord, but, you know, it seems pretty decent. I'll know more. I'm going to get this out. They have a bunch of different colors that you can choose from. They have a bunch of different lengths that you can choose from. One of the most exciting items that I ordered is this guy right here. So I didn't get this out of the packaging either because I was waiting to do this video. But this is an auger, and I don't have one of these either. And they have quite a few different styles of these. And like I said, I don't have something like this. You can run something through here, and this will help you pilot holes to do a variety of things. Whether you want to build something, this can help you, you know, make certain fires. If you do not know what one of these is for, highly recommend going and checking out some videos on one of these. We are going to test this out, and we're going to see how it does. They also give this a little slope here, so that way when you run your branch or stick or whatever you're using, because that'll give you a lot more leverage on this guy, that actually will kind of clamp down on whatever you're using as that lever. Seems pretty good, you know, off first impressions here. Seems decently made. That'll probably be the main question mark right there, or the main question. How does this area hold up? But, I think this was probably one of the most expensive items. And I want to say it was like maybe $10. But if you go look at decent ones anywhere else, you're talking 30, 40, $50. So to try one out and kind of give it a test for like $10, kind of hard to beat. This is something I've wanted to try out for a while, and I just didn't want to spend the money on, I just, sometimes I'm stingy, as I'm sitting here next to 400 knives. I'm kind of stingy when it comes to certain things. So, I saw this on there, and I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. It's got a nice length to it. We're looking at roughly about 10 and a quarter inches. So it's a decent length. And I think I chose one with like a medium width or circumference. They have some smaller ones, and I think they had one size bigger. But I didn't want to go too big. The slimmer it is, the easier it will be to pilot in. So I figured this to be a pretty good size. So that'll be an interesting video in itself. We'll have to test this guy out and see what it's capable of. I did order a pack of these Mylar blankets. These, yet again, I was trying to round off my purchase, and I ordered a couple of knickknacks, a couple emergency blankets. I think I had a couple bucks left to spend, and I got these, which were a couple of dollars. I think you get 3, 6, I think you get 10 of them. So, and they're not the best, no matter which company you really get from. They're not the best thing in the world, but they would work in a pinch. And for certain things, these combined with something else, might come in handy. Not in this video, but in a separate video, we will dig these out and see how, see what the quality is like on one of these. Typically, like I said, though, they're kind of These guys, I have a pair of these in my bug out bag because they are awesome. Not this exact, not from Temu, but it's the exact same setup. And I absolutely love the ability to have a nice little pair of scissors in a nice little package. I have them in a kit in my get home bag. But these are really nice to have. I think these were like $1 or $2, something like that. But just a little pair of scissors. You cannot duplicate or create something like this in the field. So having a little pair of scissors, something you can slide in your bag, or maybe something you put in your vehicle, it's great to have something like this. And I chose the rose color. Isn't that pretty? So pair of those. And then, the other oddball thing I picked up was, I think this was like $1 or $2. Hey, it's worth seeing if the stuff actually works. So I'm kind of interested. I have, a compass is, you have to have a couple of compasses, guys, preferably some really good ones, which I have 2 really good ones, and then I have a couple of, ones, and this is kind of even, more but I wanted to give it a shot because it was so small. And if it works, great. If it don't, then, it kind of is what it is. It actually isn't bad. This is south this way, and that is north that way. So it's actually pretty damn close. I'll have to get more information. It's actually really close. That's pretty good. So, $1, $2. It's good to have backups to your primary stuff, just in case something goes down or whatever happens. It's good to have backups to your primary items, and that's mainly what I do now. Is I am constantly getting things to back up my primary options, whatever it might be. That way, if something happens, something goes down, something breaks, runs out of battery, whatever, you got a backup or two to infill, and you have no worries. So the more things that you can back up, the better off you're going to be, especially in a true survival situation or a true bad situation. Things don't always go right, even if you are somewhat prepared or prepared. So, having backups to things is definitely not a bad idea. The next thing I wanted to give a shot this was probably one of the more expensive items. This and the auger bit, but this is apparently SK5 alloy steel, and SK5 is actually a decent steel for harder use type of work. So I was like, man, if that's SK5 and it's locking, that is fantastic. And I have a couple of these, but if I can get a decent one for a couple of bucks, why not? Teeth look pretty good. Do they have a slight? They do have a slight little angle to them. Typically, guys, the old-fashioned way is you wanted your teeth slightly angled in a altering direction, each tooth altering in direction, and that gives you the best ability to make a good cut quickly and cleanly. Nicely finished. We have some grippy G10 type of material here, nice and grippy actually, and then this is going to be plastic here, and then that is your locking mechanism there. So you have a partial stop there. It must be like a secondary measure to make sure your hand isn't in the way, which actually isn't a bad thing. And then you push it one more time and it closes up. I can open up a little bit. So there's kind of a nice full view of the handle. Little place for maybe a lanyard, maybe. I do see some teeth in there, so it might not last too long. I wonder if this goes to a 90. Nope, it doesn't go to a 90, so it'll be, some of them go all the way to a 90, which I don't mind when certain ones do that. I wouldn't mind if it was stopped here either, but you have completely open, and you are running completely straight there, and then it will lock there before it finally closes, and I believe that's probably a safety measure. That way, it's got that's that last stand kind of a deal. Hope, if it were to close and you didn't mean it to, say you bump the switch or whatever, it kind of gives you that last chance effort to not close this on your hand. But like I said, this was a couple of dollars, guys, under 15 bucks. I want to say 10 bucks or less for this guy. Like I said, everything will be linked down below. But if this holds up and does decently, it's well worth the pickup. Even to back up my primary saw, this would be awesome to have in the vehicle, and have as a backup. Like I said, we will be testing it out. And then we have one final item, and I do not remember what this even is. I thought maybe it was a tent, like a tent, but I'm not 100% sure what it is. Maybe it, or not a tent, but we're not going to be able to show it all on camera. Oh, that's right. It's a bag. It's a bag. Ah, that's right. I wanted to try out one of their little bags. That's what this is, guys. And here's another item that just a couple of dollars, and I wouldn't say, go out and get something like this as your primary bag. I mean, if that's all the money you have is a couple bucks and you don't have anything else and you only have a couple bucks, then yeah, sure. But something like this, I basically got as another backup or to make kind of another kit out of this. Maybe an in-home kit, who knows, but I just wanted to try it out. It's not going to be, the greatest quality. It's not going to be the strongest quality stuff, but, if it holds a few items and, it's got a top open there and zippers open up easily. You can cinch it down here. And, yeah, it's not bad. And then, I think, yeah, it's like a backpack. So, kind of like a lightweight backpack. Obviously, you're not going to want to load this up with 50 pounds of gear. But to throw a couple odds and ends in here, or maybe you're looking to kit out something else or make a kit for someone else as just like an emergency backup. You have a friend with you or, whoever, someone else joins your crew, something like this where you're not dumping a ton of money into it. It makes some sense. But like I said, guys, all of this stuff is just a first impressions, just an unboxing, just me showing you what the items are. Some people got confused in the last video and thought I was reviewing the items as I was pulling them out of the package. You cannot review something that you're just seeing for the first time. I can give you my first impressions on it and tell you what it is and show you, and tell you kind of what I think right off the get-go. But I'm not reviewing anything. I'm not telling you this is good quality. This is going to work for you. None of that. This is just me showing you what you get when you get certain things from Temu. Basically, for people who are on a very strict budget, that's what this stuff is for. People who want to get something decent but don't want to spend a ton of money or can't spend a ton of money. So we are well on our way, though, guys, to getting a kit kind of worked out from Temu. And if we can get a nice little kit going, that will be awesome for the people who are in that kind of realm. Either you don't have a ton of money to spend, you don't want to spend a ton of money, or you're just looking to kind of make an extra kit. That way you have it on standby for whatever it might be or whoever it might be. That'll wrap this one up, guys. Look for the next video coming because that will be a grouping of all the items that have come in from Temu. And then we'll do a follow-up video from there on kind of reviewing and, going over more stuff in-depthly. And then, like I said, a lot of these items are going to get individual testing, like the saw here, like the stove here, the auger. Certain things will get their own testing video, and then a couple other oddball items I might throw in, like this is how this is doing. It works for this, it don't work for that. It's garbage, whatever it might be. That'll be kind of the layout, guys. So just to clear up any confusion, that is kind of the scoop with everything. I'm just trying to be as helpful as I can be and show you some stuff that's very affordable that might work for you. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it when you do that. If you're new here or you've been here before and you are not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below the video. I would love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I will catch you on the next one.